Dodge built a car so fast it got banned before a single customer took delivery. A pickup that outran Corvettes, and an SUV with more horsepower than a Lamborghini. For 110 years, Dodge has been the one brand America keeps trying to slow down. From the first steel body car that went to war in 1914 to the loudest electric muscle car ever made, these are every Dodge model that mattered, and the insane stories nobody tells. The Foundation and the Brothers, or Dodge Model 30 to 35, the war machine. While Ford was still building cars with wooden frames, Dodge arrived in 1914 with the first all-steel body in automotive history. A 212 cubic inch inline-4, 35 horsepower, $785. In 1916, General Pershing needed to hunt Pancho Villa across the Mexican desert. He didn't ask for horses, he asked for Dodges. It became the first automobile ever used in US military combat. The car had been on sale for 2 years. It was already at war. Dodge Series 116. Oh, the orphan that refused to die. John died in January 1920. Horace died in December 1920. Both brothers, same year. The company worth $170 million had no one at the wheel. Most brands die with their founders. Dodge responded with the Series 116, a refined 212 cubic inch four-cylinder and the first 12-volt electrical system in automotive history. The rest of the industry didn't catch up until the 1950s. The brothers were gone. The genius wasn't. Dodge Victory 6, the car that launched into a catastrophe. Dodge debuted their first six-cylinder in 1928, a 208 cubic inch inline-six, 58 horsepower, $1,095. Beautiful, fast, and quietly revolutionary. It used a double-shell body construction, an early unibody prototype that made it stronger and safer than anything on the road. Then 1929 happened. The stock market collapsed and took the entire auto industry with it. When the world fell apart, people bought the thing that felt unbreakable. And the Victory 6 kept selling. Dodge luxury liner, the last dance before the war. Europe was already burning when Dodge unveiled their 25th anniversary car, and it was stunning. A 217 cubic inch inline-six, 87 horsepower from $895, with the industry's first sealed beam headlights and a revolutionary V-type wraparound windshield nobody had seen before. Beautiful, intelligent, perfectly timed for a world about to collapse. One of the last purely civilian Dodges for a very long time, Dodge WC Series, saw the beast of burden. Dodge didn't build one military truck for World War II, they built 80 different variants. All 4x4, all powered by a 230 cubic inch inline-six, 92 horsepower, 250,000 plus units produced. Patton used them, Eisenhower used them. But the detail nobody talks about. German soldiers were specifically ordered to capture them intact, considered superior to anything the Axis had. When the war ended, Dodge looked at what they'd built and handed it to civilians. That became the Power Wagon. The forward look and early performance. Dodge Power Wagon, the civilian tank. In 1946, Dodge took their World War II military truck, bolted on a flatbed, and sold it to farmers, creating the first mass-produced 4x4 civilian truck in history. A 230 cubic inch inline-six, 94 horsepower, $1,738, with a front winch standard from the factory. The most bizarre part, it went virtually unchanged for 20 years because Dodge genuinely couldn't figure out how to make it better. Some are still working today. Dodge Wayfarer, the last true roadster. Dodge built the last open-top roadster a major American manufacturer would ever produce. A 230 cubic inch inline-six, 103 horsepower, $1,727. The bizarre detail, no roll-up windows, just removable plastic curtains you snapped in when it rained and prayed. Not a bug, a feature, lighter, cheaper, and completely insane by today's standards. When convertibles took over, the Wayfarer vanished with the Roadster forever. Dodge Coronet, Red Ram, Hemi. The birth of a legend. In 1953, Dodge dropped something nobody saw coming, their first ever Hemi 5.8. Only 241 cubic inches, 140 horsepower, $2,198. Small by later standards, but with hemispherical combustion chambers that burned fuel so efficiently it embarrassed every V8 on the market. Then they took it to the Bonneville Salt Flats and set 196 speed records in a single week. Not one, not 10, 196. The engine that started the most feared bloodline in American muscle history. Or Dodge Custom Royal Lancer, the most bizarre marketing decision in auto history. Dodge's flagship of the forward look era, 270 cubic inch V8, 183 horsepower, $2,543, with fins so dramatic they looked like they could fly. But the detail nobody forgets, the La Femme trim, the first car in history marketed exclusively to women, complete with a matching purse, lipstick holder, rain cape, and umbrella, all color coordinated to the interior. Dodge thought women wanted accessories. Women bought Chevys instead, killed after just 2 years. Dodge Dart Phoenix, the car that was too weird to sell. Dodge's first ever unibody car, 225 cubic inch inline 6, 145 horsepower, $2,618. Structurally revolutionary, visually catastrophic. The 1961 redesign featured reverse slanted fins that tilted forward, the opposite of every design trend on the market. Buyers hated it. Sales collapsed. Today, those same bizarre fins make it one of the most sought-after collector's cars of the entire era. Or the golden age of muscle. Dodge Polara 500, the accidental race car. In 1962, Dodge heard a rumor that Chevy was downsizing, so they downsized first. The rumor was false. Buyers expecting a full-size Dodge found something noticeably smaller. Sales collapsed. But drag racers discovered what Dodge missed. A lighter body plus a 383 cubic inch V8, 305 horsepower at $3,019 meant an unplanned lightweight monster. The worst business decision Dodge ever made became one of their greatest strip weapons. Yeah, Dodge Dart GT, the wolf in sheep's clothing. A boring compact, 170 cubic inch inline 6, 101 horsepower, $2,289. Nobody feared it, that was the point. In 1968, Dodge quietly built the LO23, a factory Dart stuffed with a 426 Hemi, 425 horsepower, ordered through dealer loopholes and stripped of everything heavy. Only 80 ever built, technically street legal, practically a drag strip assassin. Dodge Coronet R/T, road and track, no excuses. 440 cubic inch Magnum Phi 8, 375 horsepower, $3,379, and that was the base engine. The 426 Hemi was optional. But the detail nobody talks about, the 1970 model was so aggressively styled with its double snorkel hood that Dodge's own engineers internally called it the angriest face we ever drew. Only 2,615 units sold in 1970 before emissions regulations killed it. Rarest R/T ever made. Dodge Charger, the icon. The 1968 to 1970 Coke bottle shape is considered the most beautiful muscle car ever designed. 440 cubic inch V8, 375 horsepower, at $3,480. But the detail that hurts every collector, 255 to 300 Chargers were destroyed filming the Dukes of Hazzard. Real running Chargers, demolished for television. The ones that survived are worth a fortune today. Dodge Charger Daytona, the car NASCAR band. Dodge built the Daytona for one reason, to win at any cost. A 440 cubic inch V8, 375 horsepower, $3,993, with an 18-inch nose cone and a rear wing tall enough to stand under. The first car in NASCAR history to break 200 miles per hour. So aerodynamically dominant that NASCAR banned the entire concept the following season. Only 500 three-street versions ever built to meet homologation rules. The most illegal-feeling legal car ever sold at a dealership. Dodge Super Bee, the poor man's muscle car. No carpet, no luxury, no apologies. A stripped Coronet with a 383 cubic inch V8, 335 horsepower, $3,027. The cheapest Hemi-era Dodge you could buy. But the secret? Order the optional 426 Hemi and your budget brawler became a strip assassin. And most buyers never knew to ask. Dodge Challenger, 3 years late, zero apologies. Dodge entered the pony car wars in 1970. 426 Hemi, 425 horsepower, $3,226, and immediately built one of the most beautiful American cars ever made. But the legend that haunts collectors, the Black Ghost, a black Challenger R/T driven by a Detroit soldier who appeared at stoplights, destroyed everything and vanished. Nobody knew who he was for decades. The car still exists. The story is real. Did survival and the turbo revolution. Dodge Lil Red Express, the legal cheat code. In 1978, emissions regulations were strangling every American performance car. Dodge found a loophole. Trucks didn't need catalytic converters, so they built a pickup, 360 cubic inch V8, 225 horsepower, $6,999, tuned it without restrictions, and created the fastest American-made vehicle from 0 to 100 miles per hour that year, faster than a Corvette. Technically just a truck, Dodge Omni GLH goes like hell. A Carroll Shelby refused to put his name on a cheap, ugly hatchback. Chrysler dared him anyway. He took the challenge and created a monster. A 2.2-litre turbo, 175 horsepower, $8,995 box that Car and Driver tested against a Porsche 944. The Omni won. Then Shelby built the GLHS. Goes like Hellsmore, 205 horsepower, only 500 ever made. The most dangerous grocery getter in American history. Dodge Caravan, Ford's biggest mistake. The minivan was originally a Ford idea. Henry Ford II personally killed it, called it beneath the brand. Chrysler bought the concept, built it anyway, and created the best-selling vehicle in America for over a decade. A 2.2-litre inline-4, 84 horsepower, $7,995. Ford spent the next 20 years trying to catch up. They never really did. Dodge Ram, first gen. The day trucks changed forever. In 1989, Dodge dropped a 5.9-litre Cummins turbo diesel into a pickup. 160 horsepower, but 400 pound-feet of torque. Numbers nobody had seen in a civilian truck. A Ford and Chevy were still playing with gasoline. Dodge rewrote the rules. The waiting list stretched to 6 months. Farm tool to high-torque monster overnight. Dodge Viper, legally dangerous. No ABS. No traction control, no airbags, just an 8.0-litre V10 truck engine, 400 horsepower, $50,000, and exhaust pipes that ran along the sides and burned your legs if you weren't careful. Dodge included burn warning stickers on the sills. The last truly savage American sports car, built to kill, legal to buy. Our Dodge Ram, second generation. The truck that broke the internet before the internet existed. In 1994, Dodge revealed a pickup that looked like a semi-truck. Massive vertical grille, aggressive hood, built like a wall. 5.9 litres V8, 230 horsepower, $14,490. Dealers were flooded overnight. Dodge's truck market share tripled in 1 year. Ford and Chevy had dominated for decades. One design change rewrote the entire pickup wars. Dodge Neon SRT-4, the Ferrari of neons. A 2.4-litre turbocharged 4-cylinder, 230 horsepower, and $19,995 in a car nobody respected. Street racers did. It ran 0 to 60 in 5.3 seconds, faster than a Porsche Boxster at half the price. Dodge's own engineers internally called it the missile in disguise. The tuner community turned it into a 400-plus horsepower monster for under $5,000 in mods. The most underestimated car of its entire era. Dodge Ram SRT-10, 2004 to 2006. The Viper ate a truck. Dodge dropped the 8.3-litre Viper Phi 10, 500 horsepower, into a pickup. $45,995. Manual transmission, no apologies. It hit 154 miles per hour and earned the Guinness World Record for fastest production pickup ever built. The bed was almost useless. The engine took everything. Nobody bought it to haul things. They bought it to destroy everything at the light. the modern power war and the electric future. Dodge Magnum, the muscle wagon, a station wagon with a 6.1-litre Hemi-Fi 8, 425 horsepower, $38,420, 0 to 60 in 4.9 seconds. More trunk space than an SUV. Dodge built a family hauler that could outrun a Corvette. All killed after just 3 years because Americans refused to buy station wagons. The cult following that formed after it died is bigger than anything it had while alive. Dodge Charger LX/LD, the cop car you actually feared. A 4-door muscle car that purists hated until they saw the numbers. 6.1-litre Hemi, 425 horsepower, $25,995. But the detail nobody expected. Police departments across America adopted it as their primary interceptor. And the criminal being chased and the cop doing the chasing were both driving Chargers. Dodge spent 17 years selling the same platform. It never got old. Dodge Challenger LC/LA, the platform that refused to die. Every competitor modernized. Dodge didn't. Same bones for 15 years, Corant kept making it faster every single year. Started with a 5.7-litre Hemi, 370 horsepower, $22,995. Ended with 807 horsepower. The last year of production sold out in days. Collectors bought them like they were going extinct. Because they were. The most stubborn success story in modern automotive history. Dodge Hellcat Charger/Challenger. The day supercars became irrelevant. In 2015, Dodge walked into their own dealership and put 707 horsepower on the sticker for $59,995. A Lamborghini Huracan cost $200,000 more. The Hellcat was faster in a straight line. Ferrari executives reportedly called it a problem. Insurance companies panicked. The thieves targeted them so aggressively, Dodge added a second hidden key fob that limited power to 500 horsepower for valet. The supercar industry never saw it coming. Dodge Demon, banned before it hit the street, 840 horsepower, $84,995. The NHRA banned it from drag strips before a single customer took delivery. Too fast without a roll cage. It ran the quarter mile in 9.65 seconds, making it the first production car ever banned from drag racing. It could do a wheelie from the factory. My Dodge included a separate Demon crate with drag racing parts. One model, 1 year, 3,300 units. The most unhinged thing ever sold at an American dealership. Dodge Durango SRT Hellcat, the SUV that cheated death. 710 horsepower, tows 8,700 pounds, $82,490. Dodge built it for 1 year only. Emissions regulations made it nearly impossible to justify. Demand was so insane they kept it alive 3 more years. The fastest 3-row SUV ever produced. And you could take 7 people to school and embarrass Ferraris on the way back. Regulations finally killed it in 2024. The waitlists never stopped. Dodge Hornet, the Italian in a Dodge costume. Dodge needed a compact. Instead of building one, they rebadged an Alfa Romeo Tonale and called it American. 2.0-litre turbo PHEV, 288 horsepower, $31,995. The badge says Dodge, the DNA says Milan. And the bizarre detail, the GT Plus R/T version does 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds using an electric boost mode called PowerShot. Dodge's first hybrid, built in Italy, sold in America. Nobody talks about it. Dodge Charger Daytona EV, the loudest silence ever made. Dodge refused to build a quiet EV. So they engineered the Fratsonic chamber exhaust, a system that uses air pressure to simulate a V8 roar. 496 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 3.3 seconds, $59,595. The EPA had to create an entirely new category to measure its artificial sound. It's the loudest production EV ever made. Some purists hate it. Some love it. Everyone hears it coming. The muscle car isn't dead. It just runs on electrons now, from 2 dead brothers and a steel car at war to wheelies from the factory and a V8 roar made of air. Dodge has spent 110 years being too fast, too loud, and too American to stop. Hit subscribe and let's explore more legendary machines together.